Ladies and gentlemen, the police force in our country suffers from a credibility crisis. This is a known fact. The last place any citizen in this country wants to venture anywhere near is a police station. For various reasons, I don't have to recount them for you. But what do you do if you face a case of road rage where 10 men misbehave with your fiancée? You don't have a choice but to go to the police. It's exactly what a young army officer, a major, did in Bhubaneswar. He knocked the door of the Bharatpur police station, hoping that the miscreants would be arrested. Little would he have imagined that instead of the miscreants being put behind bars, it was he and his fiancée who would be in lockup. The allegations coming out of Odisha's capital are stunning. In fact, they're a slap on the policing system that simply thinks it can get away with anything. First, there is a refusal to chase the goons. It's the middle of the night. Who wants to get up? Instead, there is an insistence on filing the complaint. So the goons can speed away, run away, but the police will insist on filing a complaint. Then when the couple argue, the woman, the fiancée, a lawyer just by the way, is dragged by her hair. She's stripped and then she's assaulted by 3 women cops. Then one of their male colleagues enters the room. He removes his trousers. Just think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is ugly. I don't want to put this out on national TV, but this is what has happened. He removes his trousers and flashes this woman. He then removes her bra and kicks her in her chest multiple times and then puts her in jail. By now, the serving major has been arrested as well for protesting this kind of behavior. He is held in custody for over 10 hours and he's only released after senior army officials intervene and go to court. Ladies and gentlemen, this happened to a serving army officer in Odisha's capital. Just take a deep breath and now think to yourself, what happens in villages and kasbahs where there are no cameras and reporters and social media and where police is the only system? Of course, the local police thana, that is the Bharatpur Thana in Odisha, have their version of the story as well. They claim that the woman and her friend, the army major, were drunk and had attacked an on-duty officer and vandalized computers and furniture inside the police station. A very reluctant Odisha police first behaved like an ostrich and did nothing about these charges for a good 48 to 72 hours. They have now been forced to suspend 5 cops who were involved, but this has happened only after sustained media and social media pressure. This is how the system has become. You go to a police station to lodge a complaint, no one will do it. Ask anyone who's tried it. The police will dissuade you from filing a complaint. It's only when you go on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and you put your complaint there is when the police will take you seriously and call you, Madam, aa jaiye, file kar lijiye complaint. Amazingly, ladies and gentlemen, the fiancé of this officer who runs a restaurant in Bhubaneswar was denied bail by a lower court on procedural grounds. This is how the system fails us. She is injured. You'll hear from her in just a bit. She's injured. And you'll see just how badly injured she is. And yet the lower court, on procedural grounds, denies her bail. So yesterday night, a fuming Odisha High Court granted her bail and then pulled up the lower court for not applying their minds. When the woman stepped out of jail in a wheelchair, this is what she said.
उन्होंने मुझे कोई हेल्प की नहीं, उल्टा मेरे साथ गाली गलौज की। जब मैंने उनको बताने की कोशिश की कि मैं एक लॉयर हूँ और उनका बनता है इस टाइम पे FIR लिखना, ये उनकी ड्यूटी है, तो उन्होंने मुझ पे और गुस्सा किया। थोड़ी देर बाद जब एक पेट्रोल गाड़ी आई, उसमें से और फीमेल ऑफिसर्स और बाकी मेल ऑफिसर्स आए। उन्होंने गुरुवंश को अपॉर्चुनिटी दिया था कंप्लेंट लिखने का। बट उतने में ही उन्होंने पता नहीं क्यों उसको कस्टडी में डाला। फिर मैंने उनसे वापस रिक्वेस्ट किया और बोला कि आप एक आर्मी ऑफिसर को नहीं डाल सकते हैं कस्टडी में, ये अनलॉफुल है, आप नहीं कर सकते ऐसा।
Ladies and gentlemen, this is an ugly episode that has besmirched both the army and the police. But at its core, it has a woman's dignity and safety at stake, especially in a space where she's supposed to be the safest. How did the system fail her? Dr. Tapan Chand is spokesperson of the BJP. From Odisha, he is joining us on the broadcast. Tathagat Satapathy is a four-time member of the Lok Sabha. More importantly, he's the editor of Odisha Post. That was one of the first newspapers to carry the story on its front page. Niharika Kranjwala is a principal associate at the Kranjwala & Co. And PK Jain is a former additional DGP of Maharashtra. Mr. Satapathy, I'm coming to you first. Your newspaper is the one, Namaskar sir, your newspaper is the one that reports on the incident 5 days ago. Yet, I'm not talking about you, yet when we saw the reports appear in newspapers in Odisha, it seemed to the rest of us that somehow it was not the cops that were to blame, it was this army officer and his fiancée who were to blame. But today when we look at that woman, and we see how badly injured she is, anyone will know where the truth is.
Well, Odisha Post and Dharitri were the only two newspapers, and this is verifiable, who published on Monday morning that we published the version of the army officer and his fiancée, and the police version was also carried to balance the story, but it was a second part. And this was not, I would not give any credit to social media for this story. But generally, if you see media, all of us, we tend to go by the police version because that creates no problems later on. And the reporter at the ground level finds it very safe to report, to become a, like a dictaphone and take down whatever the cops are saying, because then he is not responsible for anything else beyond that. So when the ground level reporters, the ground level correspondents break out of that mold and actually go to the field and talk to the affected parties, then the truth comes out. So we noticed that by Wednesday, all other publications and television channels, they changed their versions and they started carrying the story as it should have been carried. I'm not taking kudos for that. I'm only saying that sometimes even my paper makes mistakes and other papers carry other things. But in this one, we had carried the truth. We always try to do that. But there is an unifying factor amongst the Indian police, I would say. And this is not something limited to Odisha alone. The unifying factor is the Indian Police Service, the IPS. So you just mentioned a little bit earlier about the incident in Gurgaon where the motor bicyclist died and the police set the SUV rider free in a couple of hours because he was taking a shortcut. Now, who gives them that idea, first of all? And who is in charge of ensuring that when you are investing billions of rupees into building national highways, 6-lane, 4-lane, 6-lane highways, you are not teaching rich people, you are not teaching four-wheel drivers how to be on the correct side of the road. In any other country, it would be a very big, heinous crime to go against traffic. But in India, whether it is the south of India or you go up to the north, it is all the same everywhere. The moment you get out of Delhi also, even in Delhi it is like that, but the moment you go out of Delhi, it's the exact same thing. So from the roads to sexual harassment to troubling women, cops are at the forefront. And unifying this is the force called the Indian Police Service. I remember an incident in Hyderabad where a paramedic was raped and killed near a check gate. and then the police later on caught some innocents. They came out, they were proven to be innocents later. And one of the policemen shot them on encounter, claiming they went out in the early morning to reenact the scene, and these people were trying to escape, and he shot them dead. The crowd also cheered and held him up as a hero. So whether it is the public, whether it is the administrative system, we all find that we are on the same level. Then comes in the judiciary. When we talk about judicial reforms, we talk about
just give me a minute. We'll talk about the judiciary in just a bit, because the behavior of the lower court has many people asking many questions. Mr. Satapathy, give me a minute here. Let me just, complete the point about the police. Mr. P.K. Jain, you're a former additional DGP of Maharashtra, and it is your police force that is coming into question here. I remember an incident in Uttar Pradesh in the back of Beyond, where a poor woman goes to file a complaint of rape and is raped by the SHO herself inside the police thana. In this case, look at what happens. It is absolutely shocking. And what is even more shocking to me is the fact that in this case, the woman is an educated lawyer, the man is an army officer. If they can face custodial abuse and torture and be put behind bars for no fault of theirs, imagine what is happening in the back and beyond, in the tehsils and mufassils of this country. Police to kuch bhi karegi kya?
I absolutely agree with you, Shreya. Absolutely sad and sorry state of affairs. I have no words to say in favor of these people. They are rascals, and they should be dealt with as rascals and criminals. The government has rightly, though under pressure, has instituted inquiry and registered a case against them, which is the right course of action. But they must make an example out of them. At the same time, Shreya, I would like to say one more thing. See, in my experience of 34 years in the police, I do not generally see the policeman going to this extent unless there is some other precipitating factor. So I do not know what exactly precipitated this kind of a behavior on the part of the policeman. It generally does not happen. They are fairly careful while dealing with educated people and army personnel. Something must have triggered this kind of a behavior, but whatever it is, this behavior cannot be defended, and it must be acted upon in the strictest possible form by the government of Odisha. And these people must be taken to task, should be dismissed from service, and the criminal cases should be taken to their logical conclusion. Come what be the provocation. Policemen are used to facing abuses and abuses every day. Yet there's no reason for them to get provoked and excited and take the law in their own hand. They should have protected this couple. I think that what you initially said, that it is a reluctance on their part to register a case or to respond, then this couple must have got a little aggressive because they were not being heard, their complaint was not being registered, and that led to the fracas. So basically, I find the police must have erred somewhere, and that is what led to this kind of a situation. This woman had bit one of the policemen. So I think something got aggravated somewhere. The policemen should have kept their cool. They should have helped this couple. They should have taken action.
No, one of the things that seemed to have aggravated the police, Mr. Jain, since you're asking me, one of the things that seemed to have aggravated, upset the police, as it were, is when this lady told the woman police officer who was on duty on why she was not in uniform. She was in her nightie. You're in the night shift. This is not your home, na? That you wear a nightie and sit in the police station. So this woman said, why are you not even in your uniform? And that is where matters escalated. And sir, I've been hearing about police reforms for the last 20 years. I've been a journalist for 20 years. These reforms have not happened in 20 years, and everything that happens gets blamed on, or there have been no police reforms in the last many decades in this country. Sir, इसमें reforms की ज़रूरत नहीं होती है. ये basic sense है. If an aggrieved couple is coming to you, if they have been harassed by 10 men on the roads and someone has misbehaved with your fiancée, they will be upset. You help them.
That's what I'm saying, that they should have reacted immediately.
You don't try and entangle them in bureaucratic red tape.
No, actually, this is grossly wrong on the part of the policeman. At night, a couple is coming to you for help. Instead of help, you are not rendering them help. You are not registering their case. Obviously, a person gets agitated. So apparently, as I said, there is something wrong on the part of the people who were present there, the police officers, and they should have been rightly tackled, and they should be rightly tackled. I'm in no defense of these people. There's no reason for any policeman to get provoked.
No, Dr. Tapan Chand, but they have not been rightly tackled. Doctor... No, they must have been provoked, but is that how you respond?
No, they don't. They have no right to do that.
Is this the response? That you
I'm
flash a woman, that you
I'm
take off
saying
her
it is
bra and hit her in the
absolutely,
chest? Dr. Tapan Chand, I
it
want to
is an
ask you,
absolute criminal act.
I
They
know,
should
sir,
be,
you're saying it's
yeah.
absolutely wrong. But Dr.
Yeah.
Tapan Chand, the spokesperson of the BJP in Odisha, can I please ask you why there was such a big reluctance on the part of the Odisha police and the Odisha government to accept the version that the army officer and his fiancée was giving? Because the first response of the government and the police, I don't say the government, but I say the police, was to say, nahi, in logon ne kuch galat nahi kiya. These people were drunk because we found a bottle of alcohol in their car and they are the ones who come up and beat and vandalize the police station. Now look at the woman's halat. I can't even show her on air, sir. Because of obvious reasons now, there are broadcasting rules. We cannot show victims of sexual assault on screen. But if you did see her, she's very badly injured. Anyone would know who's speaking the truth, sir.
It's a very unfortunate incident, I will say, that because of initial confusion about the version, etc., it took little time. But soon it came to the notice of the government. Then immediately actions have been taken. There were those 5 police officials, including 3 lady police officers. They were immediately shifted, suspended, and against them the cases have been lodged, and there also inquiry. Crime branch inquiry have also been ordered. So a series of actions have been taken. One cannot say that government has delayed it, because there was some initial confusion because of various reportings, etc., and that was remaining there in the police department. So once it has come to the notice of the government, then government has taken. But today also you must have seen that various senior leaders of the government, Chief Minister himself has come forward with a statement that there will be zero tolerance, and on receipt of the investigation report, exemplary punishment, please mark the word, exemplary punishment will be given, so that such type of incident are not reported and repeated by anybody else, actually.
But Tathagat Satpathy, is that the sense you get? I'll give you 20 seconds, because my own sense after reading all reports, after seeing how there was radio silence from the government, after seeing how top cops in Odisha, tried to at least protect the staff at the Bharatpur police station, my sense is that there was every attempt made to brush the entire issue under the carpet. For example, there was a great reluctance on the part of the police to even take this woman for a medical test.
Has the commissioner spoken a single word about this yet?
No. Mr. Satpathy, no. The answer to your question is no. And that silence is loud enough for us to hear. Is that all you'll say on the matter and smile?
Are you talking
yes,
to me?
Yes, Mr. Satpathy, I'm talking to you.
See, the commission, the Bhubaneswar and Cuttack are the only 2 cities under the commissionerate, and we have only one single commissionerate of police in whole of this state. And it is very interesting to note, the commissioner of police as yet, and today is the end of Friday, has not spoken a single word regarding this case or about an incident which has happened under his jurisdiction in the state capital. And I am not blaming any political party as such, or it could have been any party, because the present police setup has been continuing from the past government. So it is not the BJP or the BJD that is to blame. They are all the same. The police is the same. And they have, the commissionerate police has not reacted at all. It is only the DGP who has spoken out. And you know what has he said? He has said that we will search and arrest the original students who harassed this couple. So this is a diversionary tactic that they are putting up instead of checking out the case in details of what happened in the police station and how the subordinate judiciary goes absolutely by what the police says and signs on the dotted lines that the police draws. Nobody is bothered to find out what has happened there, and they're trying to divert attention.
Absolutely, because you want to push everything and because it is embarrassing and you want to push everything under the carpet. Niharika Kranjwala, I want you to come in here. I have 2 minutes. I want you to take these 2 minutes and tell our viewers, please explain to our viewers that if by some stroke of misfortune they have to go inside a police thana, what are the things they should know? What are the rights they should be aware of?
Thanks, Shreya. Yeah, as you brought up, and I'll come to the point on what action should be taken when you go to a police station. I think one of the most damaging truths to come out of this incident is that people who are afraid to approach the police for reasons exactly like this, because the police are corrupt and they'll come after you and they'll try to take you to task, they will be even more frightened off by this incident, which is truly a nightmare in the making. And I feel like this is truly an opportunity for the system to show that it is not rushing to protect its own. Because for one thing, why was an FIR filed 5 days later? Why is the response to something like this a transfer and then a suspension of police officers? This isn't an on-duty thing. This is an FIR offense. These are clear-cut BNS offenses. Why was action not taken earlier? And I don't think if it wasn't for the fact that this lady is a lawyer and her husband is an army officer with contacts in the army, I don't think this action would be taken, and I don't think this story would have reached where it was. So imagine thousands of cases where people and police officers in small towns feel free to misbehave in this manner because they feel that the system will protect them and no accountability is coming for them. As you said, out of line of cameras, I feel that every police station should be equipped with cameras to ensure that exactly this kind of thing does not happen. When people come seeking security, they cannot be terrorized in this manner and they cannot be assaulted in this manner. And I think that is what every state government should undertake to do, to ensure that people do not take the law into their own hands and are willing to repose faith in lawful authorities, which I urge people to continue doing. Now, one thing I would recommend is that you immediately...
And Niharika, just in case anyone was wondering what the CCTV footage shows, because right, if the cameras are there, you know who's telling the truth. Turns out when the police was asked, they said there is no CCTV footage available. And that tells you a story, I think. We'll leave this discussion here because this is not, the story is not ending here. There is more embarrassment in line for the Odisha police and the government. We'll see how the story progresses. Niharika, thank you very much for joining us. Tathagat Satpathy, thank you very much for joining us as well. Dr. Tapan Chand, thank you very much. And Mr. Jain, thank you very much for your perspective as always. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. On the other side is debate number 2 on the Tirupati laddus. Who's using adulterated ghee to make these political laddus in Andhra Pradesh? Is it Jagan or is it Mr. Naidu? That debate up next. Do stay with us.